In an era where the line between the virtual world and reality is increasingly blurred, where vibrant neon lights still streak through the darkness of supercomputers, the AI film Ares marks the spectacular return of the legendary sci-fi franchise that has resonated for decades. This time, the question is no longer whether humans can enter the digital world, but when the digital world emerges into reality, who truly controls the game? After the events of Tron, Legacy, Encom Corporation continues to pursue its ambition to push the limits of technology by creating digital entities with human-like intelligence and emotions. Among them emerges Ares, a perfect warrior program sent from the grid to the real world to carry out a top-secret mission. But as he comes into contact with human emotions, memories, and fears, Ares begins to realize that his existence transcends all the command lines he was programmed with. Amidst a power struggle between two colossal corporations, amidst cold code and the beat of a human heart, Ares faces a fateful choice: to continue serving the system that created him, or to rebel and redefine the true meaning of existence. Let's explore the film today. It all begins with a mysterious disappearance. Legendary programmer Kevin Flynn suddenly vanishes without a trace, and overnight, this news dominates headlines worldwide. As the CEO of Encom Corporation, Kevin was the first person in history to create the electronic network, the grid, ushering in a digital era beyond human imagination. After Kevin's mysterious disappearance, his son, Sam Flynn, also announced his withdrawal from the corporation, leaving Encom to the Y family to manage. They successfully revived the company spectacularly amidst a turbulent and volatile period. Meanwhile, the Zillinger family, Kevin's sworn enemies, established a rival tech company specializing in provoking and directly competing with Encom. The current CEO is Julian Zillinger. He even loudly declared his intention to restore the legacy left by his grandfather. Both corporations pursue a common goal: to achieve breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, AI, but their purposes are entirely opposite. Encom hopes to use AI to serve and improve human life, while Julian wants to turn it into a tool for military and warfare purposes. For this goal, he awakens a super-intelligent program named Ares, simultaneously preparing to deploy him as a digital soldier to Los Angeles in 2025. Ares' mission is to steal an AI program codenamed Quantum Code, which is believed to have the ability to break Asimov's laws, rules that protect humanity from machine rebellion. Ares is the most advanced generation of AI, possessing not only superior intelligence and complex combat capabilities, but also a level of consciousness almost equivalent to humans. As a primary control program, his identification disk is triangular, while other intelligent robots usually have circular disks. This identification disk serves as both a weapon and a symbol of each program's identity, and can also record everything the wearer sees and hears. After all preparations are complete, Julian immediately orders the laser system to be activated. Intense red laser beams simultaneously fire from everywhere, and within minutes, a combat vehicle capable of both land and underwater movement appears before everyone. Julian proudly declares that this new weapon is not only durable and robust, but also equipped with heavy firepower and the most advanced combat AI system available today. He then signals the crowd to continue watching the demonstration. The combat vehicle is not the final product. It is merely the outer shell. As the door slowly opens, a figure emerges. Julian smugly introduces this as the latest military AI robot, Model, possessing the most complex security system ever created. Its appearance is identical to a real human, but it doesn't need to eat, doesn't feel pain, and doesn't bleed. Even if it's shot down on the battlefield, a few commands can instantly create another clone. While Julian is still enthusiastically introducing, Ares curiously observes everything around him. Ares' appearance causes a stir among the crowd below. However, a military officer stands up and questions Julian, stating that Ares' source code is too complex. So how can Julian guarantee that he can control it? Faced with numerous doubts, Julian hastily explains that his company has advanced safety mechanisms and special restrictive protocols. Therefore, Ares is definitely under control. But while everyone is enthusiastically discussing, no one notices. A mysterious person on the second-floor hallway, silently observing everything. After the demonstration, Ares follows Julian out onto the street. He curiously observes the strange real world. An elegantly dressed woman appears. It is Elizabeth Zillinger, Julian's mother and the former leader of the corporation. However, due to her rather unremarkable reign, few people remember her. Elizabeth subtly hints that today's presentation was impressive, having convinced many investors and influential figures. Ares mocks her briefly, but before he can finish, his armor suddenly flickers violently and his entire body disintegrates into dust. The combat vehicle behind him also collapses instantly. It turns out that this was all a spectacular trick by Julian because Ares cannot exist in the real world for more than 29 minutes. Seeing this, Elizabeth kindly advises her son not to underestimate investors and to think they are fools. But Julian doesn't care. For him, having the permanent source code means he can control the entire world. Therefore, he won't hesitate to use any means to achieve his goal. At the same time, Ares has returned to the virtual space. Looking at his newly regenerated body, his face shows a complex look of contemplation. Meanwhile, in a snow-covered plateau, a snowmobile speeds by. Y braves the cold and enters an igloo, which is the secret base of her sister, Anna. Inside the base are numerous electronic devices, and the walls are covered with documents related to Kevin Flynn that Anna has collected. Over the years, I opens a computer and watches a video Anna left for her. Seeing her sister's familiar image and hearing her voice, Y smiles faintly, a rare occurrence. Just then, a colleague enters, causing Y to quickly turn off the video and begin searching for hard drives on the table. Both Y and Anna believe that before he disappeared, Kevin must have left some important clue. The hard drives are all carefully marked with important information, so Y patiently plugs each one into the computer to check. However, 4 days pass, and all efforts are in vain, causing her boss to become disheartened. Seeing his teammate lose patience, Y advises him to rest first. She thinks sitting in this freezing room at -20 degrees is torture, but the boss stubbornly refuses to leave. Y is about to say a few more encouraging words when the computer screen suddenly flickers. She immediately rushes over and quickly types a string of command codes. Immediately, the screen next to it lights up brightly. Seeing a problem, Y continues to type a few more lines of code. Moments later, the screen unexpectedly changes, and immediately, 2 lines of code that Kevin had hidden for so long appear clearly before their eyes. After finding Kevin's permanent code, Y immediately flies out into the snowy wilderness to prepare to test the stability of the new technology. She uses a camera to record the entire testing process and then signals her boss to turn on the laser pointer. 4 powerful energy beams are emitted, intersecting to form a virtual window hovering in midair. And then the real magic happens. Just 2 minutes later, a complete lifelike orange tree is formed using advanced 3D printing technology. Seth immediately runs over, picks a fruit, and touches it, feeling its softness and coolness no different from a real orange. Thanks to the permanent code Kevin left behind, this orange tree can exist in the real world for over 29 minutes, an unprecedented achievement in technological history. Clearly, Encom has this time outsmarted Zillinger. Meanwhile, in another dimension, Ares stands silently looking at the red and void world before him, Julian's voice still echoing in his mind. In that moment, Ares realizes that he can be replaced at any time, that once his usefulness is over, he will be discarded like an old, useless toy. This strange and painful experience deeply affects Ares' inner self, causing him to begin to think, feel, and ponder like a true human. At the same time, Julian also seems to have made up his mind. He tries to infiltrate Encom's security system to check if his opponent has really found the permanent code. Elizabeth sees her son working diligently and is puzzled as to why Julian is so sure that Encom is about to achieve such a major breakthrough. Julian explains that he believes Y will follow in Anna's footsteps to continue the journey of finding that code. Therefore, he must act first to find her. Saying that, despite his mother's objections, he swipes his hand across the keyboard, injecting a malicious code into Encom's security program. At the same time, at Encom headquarters, a press conference is being held grandly, and none of them know that Ares has led a squad of elite AI soldiers to successfully infiltrate the system. When the alarm signal suddenly lights up brightly on the screen, Julian excitedly shouts, punching the air, proudly proclaiming that he is indeed a genius. As soon as the alarm sounds continuously, Encom's entire technical department immediately goes into position. The director quickly orders the activation of safety protocols to stop this intrusion, but none of them know that elsewhere in the virtual space. Ares is captivated by an old speech by A, who has views completely opposite to Julian's. A has always hated war, loved peace, and dedicated his life to using artificial intelligence for the benefit of humanity. He even willing to talk to AI, believing that the unknown is not scary, but human ignorance is truly the root of disaster. Ares has been in the system for too long, making Julian impatient. Just as he is about to lose patience, Ares finally escapes and reports that he has obtained the documents. However, as he prepares to retreat, Encom's intelligent AI team swarms in like a beehive. Seeing the critical situation, Ares immediately orders combat. The virtual space suddenly transforms into a fierce arena for a deadly dance. Ares, true to his name as the god of war, charges into the heart of the enemy. The energy disk in his hand transforms into a scythe of death, launched with ruthless precision, striking down one opponent after another. In a disadvantageous situation, Ares can only carry a seriously wounded comrade to try to break through the encirclement. But just as they are about to leave, Julian, from a distance, coldly presses the self-destruct button. Ares and his comrade can only look on in despair as their entire world is wiped out by the very entity that created it. The moment of violent explosion occurs at the press conference. Red alarm lights also flash simultaneously. A on the podium stares at the LED screen, frozen for a moment. Meanwhile, Ares has managed to bring the documents back to his virtual space. But strangely, the wounded comrade is not regenerated. He can't help but ask Julian the reason, but Julian merely raises an eyebrow and asks him why he has that question. Without waiting for Ares' answer, Julian nonchalantly says that the program was faulty, so he completely deleted it. Hearing this, Ares' eyes show a fleeting sadness, but to Julian's question, he only coldly replies that all of them are 100% sacrifices. Julian then laughs gleefully and immediately assigns Ares a new mission to track down Y at all costs. At this point, I and Set are safely on their return flight. Both cannot hide their joy. Suddenly, A calls with a worried voice, informing Y that the company server has been attacked by Julian and all their achievements are gradually disappearing. However, Y still smiles because she holds the permanent code. Now, products created from the virtual world can exist in the real world for 4 hours without consuming energy. I can't believe it when he hears this. But he also understands that Julian is definitely hunting down Y and will stop at nothing to steal that code. Therefore, he immediately tells her to be very careful and also informs her that the company will send someone to pick her up immediately. And as expected, Ares has begun to search everywhere for Y's whereabouts. He infiltrates her social connections, reviews all her personal data and whereabouts, and finally, after many layers of complex investigation, he locates the snow house where Y stayed. Seeing the lush orange tree outside, Julian confirms that Eve has indeed found the permanent code. He immediately activates the laser device and sends Ares and a female AI warrior to infiltrate the real world. To save time, Julian also equips both of them with new generation combat motorcycles and orders Ares to capture YV alive within 29 minutes. The two combat motorcycles roar through the streets, darting like lightning, heading straight for Y. In no time, they catch up to their target and begin to block her path. But Y is not easily subdued. She quickly spots the pursuers in her rearview mirror and immediately accelerates. Ares and his comrade follow closely. To shorten the distance, he even fires a laser beam that splits a police car in half across the road. Then Ares accelerates again, and soon after, Ares easily closes in on Y. Seeing the enemy right behind her, Eva swerves and hides behind a large bus, and unexpectedly shakes them off successfully. Ares doesn't hesitate, immediately turns around and continues the pursuit. Fortunately, the female AI warrior hasn't lost track. However, just as she is about to catch Y, the opponent suddenly makes a sharp turn, leaving the female warrior no time to react, only watching her prey escape right before her eyes. I quickly weaves through alleys and then races into a building's underground parking lot. A moment later, the female AI warrior also pursues her inside. She slowly walks down the spiral ramp to search, unaware that Y is hiding in the shadows, watching her every move. When the female warrior reaches the right position, Y immediately starts her car and uses all her strength to ram directly into the opponent. The sound of the collision echoes loudly. Y walks to the edge of the ramp, looks down to see the female warrior motionless, and then sighs in relief. Thinking the danger is over, but in a flash, she is horrified to see the female warrior's body on the ground disappear, and on the distant ramp, a glowing red figure is speeding towards her. Y is startled, hastily tries to set up the female warrior's motorcycle to escape. He immediately jumps on and speeds away. So, just before being caught, she manages a narrow escape. Ares, of course, is unaware, thinking he has finally reunited with his comrade. However, a strange thing makes him suspicious. Why does the other person keep firing nuclear lasers as if trying to attack? Meanwhile, I has no idea how to turn that thing off. She can only drive like crazy, almost hitting a family car in front of her. Fortunately, she brakes just in time. Otherwise, the consequences would surely be disastrous. At the same time, Julian also discovers the car's anomaly through the surveillance system. He hastily informs Ares, ordering him to pursue and investigate the truth of the matter. And so, the two motorcycles, one white and one red, speed away like two burning meteor trails, drawing deadly curves amidst the dense traffic and bright lights. Ares still thinks he is chasing his rebellious comrade and is becoming increasingly impatient with her strange behavior. After a devastating collision, Y is thrown into the air like a ball and then lands in pain. Though her entire body is numb and aching, she tries to get up to continue fleeing. Ares is not so lucky. The strong impact causes his program to temporarily glitch, losing the ability to move, but he quickly restarts and regains full energy, then continues to pursue Y. Ironically, the road she runs down is a dead end. When she realizes there is no escape, Y quickly throws the hard drive containing the permanent code into the water. Just then, Ares catches up and stands right behind Y. His voice is cold as he threatens her to hand over the permanent code. At the same time, the sound of helicopter blades echoes from afar. An armed helicopter is slowly approaching. This is Plan B that Julian has prepared. When Y thinks she is surely going to die, Ares suddenly kneels down. It turns out that his operating time is almost at the 29-minute mark. Ares' body begins to gradually disintegrate in a blue light. Only then does Y realize with a shock that the man standing in front of her is just an artificial program. She instinctively approaches Ares, intending to reach out and touch him, but in that very moment, his body turns to dust, completely disappearing. As for her, she is apprehended and taken away by the people on the helicopter. as the fierce red. Light fades. Ares has managed to digitize Y's mind, bringing her into the system's central processor and making her a subsystem under his control. Y cannot believe what is happening, but before she can compose herself, the female warrior steps out. Her stern voice asks about the location of the permanent code. Y insists that she has destroyed it. Ares seems unconcerned. He calmly states that as long as Y has seen the code, they have a way to extract it. However, one of his subordinates unexpectedly reports that Y's identification disk is unstable. Forcibly extracting the code in this state could cause the host structure to completely collapse. Despite this, the female warrior disregards it, immediately signaling her subordinates to proceed, but is unexpectedly stopped by Ares. Ares coldly declares that since Y is now a program, she must obey the user's commands. He proactively contacts Julian for further instructions. When he hears that extracting the code could destroy Y, Julian hesitates for a moment because Y has left no trace in the network. This means that once the extraction process begins, she will be completely erased from the real world. However, after an internal struggle, Julian still coldly orders the code extraction and host deletion. Hearing this, Ares stands still for a few seconds, but Julian maintains a firm tone, declaring that he will soon fix the emotional errors in Ares's system and then decisively cuts the connection. He doesn't expect Ares not to follow orders. He pretends to announce that the user cannot currently operate, intentionally delaying the extraction of the permanent code from Y. The female warrior, of course, doesn't believe him, but unexpectedly, Ares imitates Julian's attitude, showing firmness and declaring that his commands are not to be questioned. Faced with strong pressure from the main control system, she is forced to remain silent and temporarily await further instructions. When the other AI warriors have left, Ares turns to Y and gently asks if he can trust her now. However, while the two are planning their escape, the female warrior secretly contacts Julian, reporting the entire incident and speculating that the main control system has experienced a serious error. Hearing this, Julian is distraught, closing his eyes in exhaustion. He clearly understands that this is not a technical or physical error, but rather that Ares has truly awakened human emotions, something he never anticipated. Now, Ares is completely beyond his control. Therefore, Julian immediately gives a cold new order to the female warrior. She must immediately extract the code and at the same time delete both Ares and Y. When she returns with her troops, her eyes filled with murderous intent, Ares immediately draws his weapon, ready for battle. According to the female warrior's command, two shadow soldiers quickly close in. However, just a few seconds later, Ares unexpectedly lowers his weapon, looking as if he has completely given up resisting. But in the very next second, he tightly grips Y's hand and throws his weapon to the ground with a silent promise that he will get her out of this place at all costs. After a violent shock, the world seems to spin, and Y falls straight into the deep, bottomless water. Her body weakens, without an ounce of strength, and she continues to sink. Just then, a hand suddenly reaches out and grabs her, and it is Ares who has managed to catch up in time. He holds Y tightly, and then resolutely activates the light motorcycle, bringing her soaring out of the water and speeding towards the teleportation gate. That is the only way for Y to leave the network and return to the real world. The female warrior, seeing this, frantically manipulates the control panel, preparing to erase the entire area. Immediately after, 3 energy missiles are launched. Long streaks of fire tear through the night sky, heading straight for the teleportation gate with terrifying, destructive power. Ares is forced to accelerate, beginning a life-and-death escape on the water, skillfully weaving through the matrix of fire and water. He twists the throttle to the maximum, pushing the machine beyond its physical limits. Columns of water spray up, mixed with the hellish red light of the fire, creating a scene that is both majestic and terrifying. Amidst the chaos, at the end of the tunnel, a flickering light appears, and that is the gate back to the real world. After narrowly dodging a missile, Ares doesn't dare to delay. He twists the throttle all the way, using his triangular disc to bounce off the wall to accelerate. Finally, just before the missile can catch up, they both escape the tunnel and successfully return to the real world just as the gate slams shut behind them. Alarm bells immediately ring throughout the Zillinger building. Julian rushes to the warehouse, finding it in chaotic disarray like a battlefield, with devices automatically activating and lighting up continuously. On the floor, two piles of smoking black machinery appear. A curious employee approaches to investigate and is unexpectedly grabbed by the neck by Ares. Julian is terrified, his eyes wide, not daring to stop this out-of-control combat AI. But Ares has no intention of lingering with him. After all, his time is only 29 minutes, and his top priority is to get Y to safety. Fortunately, Julian doesn't pursue them, because he is currently busy opening the gate to release the female warrior for battle. As soon as he sees her, Julian immediately orders her to capture Y at all costs and extract the permanent code. The triangular identification disc on her back clearly shows that Athena has replaced Ares as the new primary control system. She accepts the command without hesitation, completely subservient. Meanwhile, Y drives while telling Ares that the permanent code is currently stored in Kevin's server backup. As long as they can return to Encom within 29 minutes, there's still a chance to extend Ares' existence. However, Ares immediately throws a bucket of cold water on her by saying that with the current car and speed, making it on time is almost impossible. Hearing this, Y immediately slams on the brakes and drives straight into a vendor supermarket. She quickly scans her face to unlock the shop owner's phone and calls S, telling him to bring a nuclear weapon to Encom within 15 minutes. At the same time, outside, Ares is not idle. He hotwires the shop owner's sports car and, as soon as Y rushes out the door, speeds away, out of sight. The speed of this new car is truly terrifying, making Y feel the clear push pressing her back into the seat, and she can't help but smile triumphantly. However, neither of them knows that Athena, who can fly, has been clinging close behind. By infiltrating the surveillance camera system, she has locked onto the bright yellow sports car as her target. With superior driving skills, Ares quickly reaches the area beneath the Encom building. Both rush inside. Meanwhile, Set also manages to bring the nuclear weapon to the location just in time. To avoid suspicion from her colleagues, Y intends to lie that Ares is her boyfriend. But under Set's scrutinizing gaze, she ultimately cannot fabricate anything. She decides to reveal Ares' true identity. Back in the office, Y immediately opens the server containing the permanent code. Set simultaneously coordinates the assembly of the nuclear weapon. The plan is to send Ares into the server so he can find the code himself. Once found, they just need to return to the teleportation gate to bring him out. Ares watches the two, busy preparing, and asks Y if he can trust her. She replies with a half-truth, half-joke answer that she wants to think so. But perhaps Ares just remains silent for a long time, realizing that this is the complex emotion humans often call trust. However, before they can act, a figure radiating red light flashes past the window. Ares immediately recognizes it as Athena, but strangely, she doesn't attack immediately. It seems she's waiting until Ares' time runs out and he disintegrates before capturing Y to extract the code. The two silently look at each other through the thick glass until Y's urging breaks the tense atmosphere. She tells Ares to quickly get into position so she can bring him into the server. But then Ares unexpectedly throws her a Rubik's Cube, saying that the plan has changed, then turns and rushes straight towards Athena. He smashes through the glass barrier, choosing to confront the enemy directly to create a sole opportunity for his comrades. However, no one expects that only Ares falls to the ground, while Athena hovers unscathed before the window. It turns out that at the moment of impact, Y decisively activates the nuclear camera, sucking Ares into the server. But before she can rejoice, Athena accelerates and flies straight inside. With her weapon in hand, Athena coldly sweeps her gaze across the room, stepping forward like a predator hunting its prey. Y and Set hide behind the piles of broken furniture, holding their breath, observing Athena's every move. To save her friend, Set bravely rushes out of their hiding spot, intending to surrender, but is knocked away by Athena and passes out. Fearing Athena's merciless actions, Y deliberately makes a noise to lure her towards another office area. But how can a human with no weapons possibly fight against such an advanced AI warrior? In that critical moment, the building's fire suppression system unexpectedly activates, spraying thick steam onto Athena's mechanical body, causing her to flicker. A deafening alarm sounds, and in a flash, Athena turns to dust. It's unclear if her 29 minutes were up or if the steam caused her program to malfunction, but all that remains on the ground is her laser weapon. He stares at the scene in shock, taking a long moment to recover. Worse still, the nuclear camera has been destroyed, meaning Ares has no way out of the server. Meanwhile, Ares finally opens his eyes. He looks around, recognizing the minimalist, black and white space, and knowing this is the binary world of the 1980s. A hovering orb of light approaches. It is an ancient form of artificial intelligence, curiously assessing the intruder. Ares observes for a moment, then decides to ask it for help in finding the permanent code. The orb does not disappoint him. It immediately transforms into a tiny toy car, signaling him to follow. Meanwhile, Julian is awakened by the system's alarm. He restarts Athena but discovers she hasn't completed her mission. The anger almost drives him mad, but Athena completely ignores him. Instead of obeying orders, she goes straight to the control panel, arbitrarily activates the laser device, and releases all other AI warriors into the real world. This action makes Julian a victim of his own creation. The machines he created have now ignited a war between the real world and the virtual world. Elizabeth rushes over, thinking her son is doing something foolish again, and intends to immediately shut down the Eternal Project. But as she touches the control valve, Athena's weapon blade pierces her abdomen. This is the result of a command Julian once issued: anyone who obstructs the code extraction will be unconditionally eliminated. Now, Julian has clearly completely lost control of these AIs. Julian desperately tries to rewrite the source code to stop them, but discovers the system is completely in Athena's hands. He no longer has the authority to edit it. At this moment, Ares is still driving the tiny yellow toy car, following the orb of light to the deepest part of the two-dimensional space. When they stop, he looks around and sees a string of code gradually appearing, forming a familiar silhouette. And that is Kevin, who has been missing for so long. He stands on a high platform surrounded by radiant light, making him look like a powerful technology god watching over Ares. In the real world, Y and S are still frantically repairing the nuclear camera with the faint hope that they can bring Ares back safely before everything completely collapses. At this moment, two colleagues, A and Kara, enter the office, completely stunned by the chaotic, battlefield-like scene before them. Both can't help but ask what Y and Set are doing. I excitedly jumps up, her eyes gleaming with excitement mixed with worry, declaring that she has seen the true quantum world, where the most advanced artificial intelligence known to mankind exists. She says that it is currently in Kevin's server, searching for the permanent code, and what they need to do right now is fix the camera. Although A and Kara still don't understand the whole situation, with trust in their colleague, both decide to roll up their sleeves and help. However, just as everyone has finished assigning tasks, a glowing red figure suddenly appears on the distant horizon. With just a glance, Y immediately recognizes it as Athena returning. In that instant, she suddenly remembers the L weapon that Athena left behind last time, and a thought flashes in her mind that perhaps this very object will be the only key to conquering the AI warriors. Without hesitation, Y immediately devises a bold plan. She will activate the wireless connection protocol, then use the remaining lace rays in the weapon to create a network of light to trace back the AI's transmission. By doing this, Zillinger's entire network system will be destroyed, meaning Athena will also lose all her power. Y quickly hands the laser weapon to A and Set for the two technical experts to execute this plan. After making arrangements, Y turns and rushes out of the building, ready to face Athena alone with the sole purpose of buying time for her teammates to complete the mission. She doesn't know that Athena has already infiltrated Ancom's surveillance system and is silently observing her every move, every breath. Meanwhile, in the two-dimensional virtual space, Ares is having an intimate conversation with Kevin. He expresses his desire for Kevin to give him the permanent code because he needs it to return to the real world and rescue his friends. Kevin initially disagrees because he knows Ares is a program from Zillinger's company and cannot determine whether he is friend or foe. The two continue to converse, shifting to topics like pop music and technology. Through this, Kevin gradually realizes that Ares is not a malevolent AI as he once thought. Finally, trust in Kevin triumphs over suspicion. He decides to lead Ares to the high platform where the permanent code is stored. It is not complex lines of code displayed on a screen. The permanent code is actually a small object emitting a warm light, fitting perfectly in the palm of a hand. Looking at the glowing double helix structure, Kevin's eyes seem to reflect the image of an old friend. He attaches the permanent code to Ares' identification disk and then opens a teleportation gate, while he himself decides to remain in this world. Ares looks at him deeply, full of emotion, then resolutely turns and steps into the brilliant white light. At the same time, in the real world, Athena has led her colossal AI army towards the city. Passers-by are all terrified, looking up at the sky, trying to guess where the giant red monster came from. Athena disregards the crowd, her eyes solely focused on Y, who has become her target. The most advanced combat technology of mankind seems useless against Athena's superhuman strength. After a period of engagement, she temporarily loses track of Y, so she immediately activates her launch program and deploys thousands of search devices. In the sky, a red energy network forms a gigantic net like a deadly meteor shower, covering the entire city to hunt for its prey. Y is trapped in an energy cage, able only to watch helplessly as Athena slowly approaches. Just then, a missile unexpectedly flies in from afar. It turns out that the military's fighter jets have arrived, just in time. However, against a new generation AI warrior like Athena, fighter jets are nothing more than moving targets. The jets are shot down in a flash, but the explosion of the first missile is still enough to cause serious damage to Athena's spaceship. The colossal ship crashes, destroying houses and streets, turning the entire area into a pile of rubble. Athena is forced to abandon her ship, driving her combat vehicle straight to where Y lies unconscious. There are only 5 minutes left before the Shadow Warrior's time runs out. Athena doesn't dare to delay, immediately taking Y back to Zillinger's company headquarters, but along the way, she unexpectedly encounters Ares, who has just returned from the virtual world. He is no longer the Ares of before. Now he is clad in pure white light armor, carrying the ultimate power of the permanent code. The new identification disc in his hand radiates a powerful, pure, and authoritative energy. With just a single attack, Ares throws his disc towards Athena, creating a terrifying explosion that turns the entire street into a sea of fire. Its power shakes the entire city. Thanks to that explosion, Y narrowly escapes death. But before she can rejoice at surviving, Athena emerges from the thick smoke, accompanied by 2 flying AI warriors and countless other soldiers. Seeing the critical situation, Ares immediately tells Y to retreat first, while he stays behind to face the AI army alone. And then Ares alone charges into the dense encirclement, transforming into a storm of light and steel, fighting with all the power of a god. Despite his bravery, amidst countless enemies, Ares is quickly overwhelmed and falls. As Athena prepares to deliver the finishing blow, Y unexpectedly rushes forward, throwing Ares his identification disc. The power of the permanent code immediately courses through his body. It is not just recovery, but a moment of sacred rebirth. The battle continues more fiercely than ever. But this time, the balance of power has completely shifted. Ares rises, strong, agile, mighty, like a true god. Athena is no longer his opponent. He even cuts off one of her arms. Meanwhile, in the back, A and Set's plan to trace back the network is almost complete. The detection devices in the sky fall, one by one, signaling that all of Zillinger's AI warriors have lost their connection and cannot return. That is their end. All the warriors commanded by Athena vanish into thin air, ending the global threat. The apocalyptic war is finally resolved. In the final scene, the police enter Zillinger's company headquarters to arrest the mastermind behind it all. But no one expects that Julian has already digitized himself, uploading his entire consciousness to the network system to evade all legal responsibility. And the film ends there with a big question mark for the future. The review ends here. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. Hi everyone, what do you think of the video? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to support our channel in future videos. Thank you everyone.